Yo, what up, guys? My name's Liam, if you don't know who I am. And I thought I would just give a little bit of a. I couldn't really sleep, so I was thinking I do this thing where I kind of rehearse conversations. I've been doing it for years, rehearse conversations, and so I thought instead of actually rehearsing it in my head and just I'd get it out. So what I was thinking about was what advice would I give to someone who wants to go into business, is entrepreneurial or wants to become entrepreneurial, um, and is just starting out, just just young or not necessarily young, but wanting to go into entrepreneurialism. And there's a lot of things that come to mind. Um, The first is you have to prioritize time on your business. And even if you don't have a business yet, you have to want to create a business. So you have to want to go into business. So before you even go into business, you have to start educating yourself on what business actually is, what money is, what it's all about, where other people have gone before you. So the first thing you want is to be time orientated towards, or time positive towards your business. You want to be busy with your business. Second thing that comes to mind is don't tell anyone that you're going into business. Don't keep it all under wraps. Just work quietly, because you'll find that until you have something to actually show, and it has to be something worthwhile to show, because unless you got a real supportive family or real supportive friends, which you might probably don't, um, you need to keep that shit on lock until you're ready to start going to network and go public. But before, you just got to be in your room working or on your computer. You need a computer. You can try and do it on a phone or whatever, but you need a computer. So if you don't have a computer, get a laptop. Big thing that held me back for so many years was just not having a laptop. I had a desktop or whatever, but I didn't have a laptop. My laptop died years ago, and um, the logic board died on a really good MacBook Pro that I had. Massive setback. Um, so you want to be very careful with what you tell people, because all the little negativity and the little seeds of doubt that other people can sow in your head is just so pernicious, and it can just really fuck up your whole mentality and your self belief in what you're wanting to do. Because it doesn't even matter what business you can go into, any business, and the whole point of being an entrepreneur is being able to pivot and transition and find opportunities. So you have to be open, being open and having an open mentality to the world and what is going on and how you can contribute and help the world. If you want to make money, you need to help people, or you need to sell shit. And ideally, you want to sell something that helps people, right? So even if you're selling a t-shirt, you want it to be a good t-shirt that makes people feel good in the t-shirt, right? I would say as well that a big thing that's almost like a prerequisite to mental focus is having control of your mind and having control of your mind and having control of your emotions. And your emotions in business is is going to really stuff you up, because if you're struggling emotionally in your life, then you're not going to have time to focus on your business. And when you focus on your business, you want to be clear, calm, and collected. You want to be focused. You want to be productive. It doesn't matter. There's no point working for 5 hours uh, and doing nothing compared to doing like 20 minutes of deep, 100% work orientated work. So if I was young, like if I was in high school right now and I'm, motivated and want to succeed in life and have the best life possible, you have to really dedicate to your studies. And I think the best thing that you can study growing up is a musical instrument or many musical instruments or just music in general, because music is especially like classical music, or if you're doing like jazz or like maybe some like technical metal, or like you're learning how to really riff, but particularly classical music, it is practical meditation. So it's like and especially with classical music enforces perfectionism. It creates analytical skills. You're creating a mind-body connection. You're creating hemispheric. You're cross-pollinating your hemispheres. You're creating symmetry with your brain. So I would study a musical instrument. I would read. I would try and learn skills. Teach yourself skills, because one of the great late Scott Adams, who created Dilbert, he said in his book, which is a great book called about reframing. Wait, I forgot what I was going to say, but the reframing thing is really good. He says one thing in the reframing about just walking a dog. He said that, and this is such a good thing, you're not taking your dog for a walk, you're taking him for a sniff, or take him for a piss or something, My dog just pisses. He's a piss cannon. He just wants to keep pissing everywhere. There was something Scott Adams. What did he say? What was I going to mention about him? Skill compounding. So Scott Adams mentions like skill stacking or skill compounding. So if you have one skill and then another skill and then another skill, like if you have one skill, then that's good. But if you have like, if you have say for instance with music as an example, you could be a great musician, but you also have to have basically like, to succeed as a musician, you need to have another level of skills. So you need to have like, you need to be able to create content. You need to be able to perform live. So you have to have stage presence and charisma. You need to be able to sell yourself. You need to be able to network. You need to be able to create a business. So you need to create business skills. So all these skills, the more you have, like in him, he mentioned that he had, for Dilbert, the skill set that multiplied him was he knew how to cartoon, or he learned how to cartoon. He knew corporate culture in that was what he was satirizing, and he was able to. There was another skill that he had. I think it was marketing or something. He mentions it in the book. You have to read it. It's a really good book. And so having multiple skills that all work together compounds you, and it makes you unique. It puts you into a niche category that only you have. And the more skills that you have, the more that you're the more valuable you are as a person, and the more value that you add to your company, to your business. Second thing I would say is, once you're serious about starting a business, register a company. In Australia, it's like $600. Now, I would say one thing: all this shit that you might have in your head about, oh, I can't start a company because I don't have enough money, because I don't have a lawyer, because I don't have I don't have an accountant, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't know this, and it's bullshit. You can register a company yourself. You just pay the fee. You just have to fill the form out correctly. So just make sure you fill the form out correctly. A lot of business in entrepreneurialism, honestly, is just filling out all these different forms and signing up for shit, like plugging things into each other to create a system. So what you want to do is register a company. That's the first thing, because then you're creating a separate it's a separate entity from yourself. So if you earn money, the company is earning money. Now, when the company has expenditure, now that's offset against the income. So now you have tax deductible income. And you know, honestly, even with Australia with the GST, if you have expenditure but you don't have income, then you can claim 10% GST and get the money back. So you can actually just by registering a company, you can literally make money just from registering a company and then just claiming the GST. um, and that's how you do it because companies are scalable. You can't scale like a sole proprietary thing. You can't make any money. Really, you can't get rich without starting a company. It's just I don't know how you do it. What are you gonna do? Sell drugs or something? Like how are you gonna get rich? As a sole proprietor, you're paying income tax. And the income tax is so high. So like everyone, even if you're a doctor, they're paying like half their income in tax. Me, I don't pay tax. I run everything in the red. With just maybe you can have a small contingency or whatever, but if you have recurrent revenue coming in, then you can offset it. And then obviously the next thing about this, next thing is once you have recurrent income coming in, then you qualify for, and once you've registered your company for a couple of years, and as long as you have a good credit rating, personally, as the director of the company, then you get access to credit, and then with credit, you leverage it. One thing that I would recommend is having an investment strategy for surplus capital that you don't have. So for me personally, my investment strategy, I have many investment strategies for what I would put certain amounts of liquidity into. For me personally, I'm a domain investor. So I invest in domains and then I build. I think that this is the best thing that anyone can get into starting off entrepreneurialism because it's like a test run. If you can build software websites and create services through that, then it gives you all the skill sets that you need to then. I feel like brick and mortar businesses are much more simple to run than like creating online shit. The online stuff is more nuanced. Once you get the hang of it, it's easy, but you have to go through. Like it took me 4 years from the time I registered my company to be able, over 4 years. It took me almost 4.5 years to be able to develop all of my things. But what I did was I invested in the domains when I had the ideas and when I had the money to be able to. And because you can invest in domains for literally $2, $3, $20 for a .com. This is like if you can find them. There's heaps of new domains because there's all these different tiers now, like .fun, .what the fuck, .like, .live, .coffee, all these different tiers has opened up. So there's heaps of domains that are available, and a lot of them are premium because no one's purchasing them. So if you can find good high quality domains for a low price, of course you can sell them, but like the best thing to do is to develop. So you can literally go and just type in words and try and find domains, try and find a good one, and then be like, okay, what business can I create with this brand? This is my brand now. This is my website name. How can I create from that? And that's what I did. And I was able to, I have like currently over 150 domains in my portfolio, and I think I have 100 live websites at the moment. I'm not sure. And probably of those 100, maybe 30 of them are like pretty like flagship, like they're pretty good. I haven't fully, but not all my websites are realized to their full potential yet. Yeah, so the first thing I would say is getting control of your time, getting control of your mind, getting control of your emotions, and getting control of your mind solves the emotional problem unless you got a lot of trauma and stuff that's going on with your mental. But if you just got like, if you don't have much in your life that's really problematizing you, then you know you're going to have to. Then what am I trying to say? I feel like I've got more stuff on more advice, better advice. What else can I say? Obviously, AI is the highest leverage point that we have, and I don't think that these legacy companies have the I think that a lot of people I think that they're not I think that there's a gold rush happening, but I don't think it's going to last forever. But the more that one personally uses AI in a constructive way, the way I view it is that if you can get the AI not to be like this, but if you can get it to be like, how am I trying to say? Like that. Instead of this, like that. In the sense that what I'm trying to say is, if you're just using basic skills, and it's all just going everywhere. So like maybe you're going here, you're going on chat, you go on Grok, you go on whatever, you're making stuff on Midjourney or something, or like you've got all these different things that you're doing, but they're not integrated and they're not connected to your operating system on your computer. So for me, the way that I was able to like launch all my stuff was that I started actually developing apps and an operating system for myself personally and for my company. I created all this software that's all my proprietary stuff. That's not my websites. That's just my shit for me, and my shit is actually way fresher than like the public products. For instance, when I created Language Ninja was actually created because I created what was called Norsk Ninja, and it was a Norwegian language learning app that I built for myself because I wasn't satisfied. I had to work out for myself a way to actually concretely get language acquisition mastery for myself because I want to be a polyglot in the future. And I've wasted a lot of time with things like Duolingo and Babbel, and I've tried to work out systematized ways. I've done a lot of research into trying to work out the best ways for you got to work out a way for you to commit to learn a language. So for me, I wanted to learn Norwegian and move to Norway, and or I want to learn Norwegian and move to Norway. So I created a language learning app that was actually very, very specific to me personally. It was fed with all my information, and I created stories that are to do with my own personal like mythology that I have for myself. And that app is what I then used. Basically, I cloned that app that I had, and then I built Language Ninja. And then from Language Ninja, I actually made improvements on Language Ninja, ported it back into the Norwegian one for my personal language learning one, and then I made more improvements, and then I ported that back onto the thing. So I just went back and forth doing those sort of things, um, and like I wanted music tools, so I created Instrument Ninja. The way that I created Better Be Good email, which is a promotional digestion email service, so you can have an email that is specifically for promotion, and the idea is like, well, it better be good. The promotions better be good. So you get your name, your handle, and you get the email, and then it ranks it, sorts it. You can filter, and you can also import your emails from like Gmail. There's a script in that. But the way that I created was I was just like at JB Hi-Fi or something, and I was like, oh, like they always ask for your email, like you're always getting asked for email and clogs up your main email or whatever that you're using. So I was like, I'll buy Better Be Good email. I'll put the handle as this. So I have this at Better Be Good email. So that's my one. And from that idea, which was simply just for my own personal little solution to try and make my life a little bit better, I created a product. So that's one of the simplest and directest ways to develop ideas for inventions or products or whatever, a business. Because if you're trying to solve problems for yourself, then if you're trying to solve problems for yourself and you keep trying to solve problems for yourself and keep trying to improve your life, like for instance, like you got your room and you've got your desk and then you want to improve it, so you put some art on the wall, or the the desk isn't that good, so you get a new desk, or maybe you're not satisfied with what you can buy, so then you build your desk. And then once you discover that you can build a desk, then you want to be like, oh, well, I want to make the desk go up and down, or I want the desk to have fucking buttons, and or I want the drawer to have a secret compartment with a safe with money in it. Or you just keep optimizing and improving and creating based on your things. So I would say even before you even try to start necessarily trying to do like business per se, I would just say invest in yourself, invest in your own space, your own time. If you don't have your own space, get your own space, and put yourself first. And I would say, don't be afraid to just work and do jobs and do all this other stuff on the side, because everyone has 24 hours in a day, and you're going to need to get rest. You need to get exercise, go for long walks, listen to some music and listen to a podcast, go walking, be in your own head, write notes, get into that time of doing deep, productive work that is also restful. Like for me, when I do it, not all of my work, some of my work is very mentally taxing and difficult to do, but I try and optimize those sort of tasks to do when I'm feeling in like a calm and energized state. And I like to be really calm and just chill when I'm like working. And I find working to be calming and stuff. So like, and enjoyable. I enjoy what I do. It's play for me. Like I love it. Like, but I would also, at this stage in my life, because I'm like so, I don't know what to say, so good in my life, I could just be like, all right, I'm going to start up a window washing business and go out and have the happiest day ever, listening to music, washing windows, having a jolly good time. Like, you can do anything, but if you're working for yourself, then you're working for yourself. It's on your terms, and you can build it. You can build something. Whereas if you work for someone else, unless you're in a good position where you're coming in as a partner or something, or or you're there specifically because you want to work at the company and you believe in the company or something like that, then but if you build something for yourself, then you can bypass resumes, you can bypass begging for jobs. Because I've seen shit like, I've applied for, I've never had a job. I've had jobs, casual jobs, hospitality jobs, all this stuff, but I've never had a proper job. I've never had a salary job. I've been broke as fuck. I've been living, like just flipping Centrelink into my company basically and starving. And I don't give a fuck because it all worked out for me. It all worked out. So I'm all good. I set myself up for life. I can retire. But like, I'm just starting now, because now I can transition, because I'm in a position now where I have I have everything that I can execute at such a high level now, that I have no barrier, that like when as money comes in now, it blows, it goes for me, and that's what you want to be doing. You want to be strategic with, because you don't want to be thinking about with attachment to money. It's like, for me, it's like, okay, say you got $10. That's all you got, $10. What can you buy with $10? Well, you can buy a coffee, you can buy 4 cans of dog food or something, you can buy like 10 cans of chickpeas, You know, like you can get 3 pasta meals, or you can go out and you can buy like 2 lattes maybe if you're lucky or something, or maybe $10 you can buy domains with. So for me, like I've been living on the edge where I just like weigh up all of what I can get and then try and manifest more and more abundance. So like for instance, like I bought a lot of books over my life. I love books. I bought a lot of books over my life. So I have a huge collection. Like I have too many books for my storage at the moment. Um, like I just, even with no money to my name, my life was still just through the magic of being on a positive trajectory, I guess, that I was having more and more abundance in my life. And that's the mentality that you want to be in. You want to be in a positive, like, you want to have urgency, but you also have to be like, okay, well, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, but when you execute, try and execute with as much speed as possible. Because especially if you're using AI, one of the things about it that is so amazing is you can be working with it and it will be like you're working on a project and it will be like, all right, this project is going to take 2 years, or this project is going to take like 6 months. And then you can literally push it and you can get it to do a whole development schedule or something in like a day, or couple days. And that's the power of AI. So like my recommendation is use Codex and Claude in VS Code, and plug and use clone and improve open source software, integrate it into your own OS, and feed it as much what you want as possible. And if you have one OS, like a mono repo, then everything compounds for that. That's what I have. I have like a mono repo, and because of that, everything is integrated. I have also a neural network, and I have an engine that I built, which is like a Pokemon engine. So basically, there's like script archetypes, Pokemon moves, and then I have a simulated city, and then in that simulated city, the characters have Pokemon battles, and outcomes can be decided based on the Pokemon battle for progression. So I could be like, all right, I want to develop fucking 8 new SaaS apps in this field. Pokemon Battle brainstorm, and develop the best business plans for developing these 8 SaaS apps, and then build them, and it will just do it all. Like it'll do it all for me. So yeah, it's like just enrich your life with as much material as possible. The arts, philosophy, literature, music, movies, like information is the more that you feed yourself, the more your life will be enriched. And I think also if you don't get a YouTube premium subscription, because YouTube is the most valuable resource that we have on the internet, I would say, aside from AI. And YouTube is improving the search feature of YouTube soon with their update. So that's very exciting. So yeah, I might leave it there. That's just some advice. I'll post more videos giving advice in the future. Have a great day. Much love and God bless. Peace, love, and prosperity forever. World peace.